The ledger, she left me. My name is Mara Ellison, and I was 34 the day I buried the only person who ever really raised me. And 3 hours later, my phone lit up with a text from her number. My grandmother, Evelyn Shaw, taught me how to balance a checkbook, mend a torn hem, and recognize love by who keeps showing up. At her funeral, I left 2 chairs empty in the front row. I'd saved them for my parents. 3 hours later, my phone buzzed. A photo, my mother, Celeste, drink in hand on a beach in Aruba. Caption, living our best life. Then another message came through, from Grandma's number. Come to the house now, sweetheart. I had watched Evelyn die 4 days earlier. I drove over anyway. Her attorney, Martin Hale, was waiting at the kitchen table with her phone and a sewing box. He apologized for scaring me. Grandma had told him to text me from her number because she knew I'd always answer. Inside the box, a blue notebook, bank statements, and a durable power of attorney with my mother's name on it. Evelyn believed Celeste was stealing from her. She trusted you to understand the records, Martin said. Numbers were my job. I audited companies for a living, chased down missing payments, rebuilt accounts out of wreckage. That night, while my husband Daniel slept upstairs, I spread Grandma's papers across our table. The notebook read like the diary of a sick woman at first. Mara brought soup, treatment was rough, couldn't finish the toast. Then the entries changed. Celeste says I spent $600. I didn't. $400 withdrawn on the 9th, $3,000 transferred on the 17th, $11,000 gone before the end of the month. She thinks I'm too confused to count, Grandma had written. I'm weak, not stupid. Every note matched a bank transaction. My mother had been wiring money to an account in Florida the whole time she controlled Grandma's mail, her bills, her bank access. Then I found the last account number tucked into a prescription slip, a brokerage account Evelyn had built over 40 years. Celeste had taught her how to open it. The total came to $465,000. I called my mother once, gave her one chance. She laughed when I asked about the transfers. You were Evelyn's charity case, she said. I was her daughter. What was hers is mine. Then she hung up. Martin referred me to a senior attorney, Priya Desai. Priya explained that power of attorney didn't make Celeste an owner. It made her a fiduciary, legally bound to spend Evelyn's money only for Evelyn. We could demand a court accounting. If Celeste couldn't justify the transfers, it could turn criminal. You need to understand, Priya warned me, your mother could go to prison. That night I was 9 years old again, standing at the edge of a school stage, watching a curtain for parents who never came. I heard every old lesson replaying and stay calm, keep the peace, be grateful, don't cause trouble. Then I opened Grandma's notebook again. On the last page she'd written, showing up is the whole thing, sweetheart. I finally understand it. Showing up didn't mean tolerating betrayal. It meant standing between someone you loved and the people who hurt them. The next morning, I told Priya, file it. Celeste answered with threats, then tears, then an offer. Before the hearing, her lawyer proposed she return part of the money and sign Grandma's house over to me if I dropped the complaint and stayed quiet. In the courthouse hallway, Celeste grabbed my hand. Take the house, sweetheart. You'll still have a mother. Sweetheart had been Grandma's word. Hearing my mother use it felt like theft. No, I said. In court, Priya laid Grandma's notes beside the bank statements. Date against date, dollar against dollar. Celeste's lawyer called the transfers caregiver reimbursements. There were no receipts, no agreements, no proof. The judge studied the exhibit while I read Grandma's words aloud. I'm weak, not stupid. When I announced that every dollar recovered would fund care for isolated elderly people, Celeste stood up. It was mine, she screamed. I earned it putting up with that old woman. Silence sealed the room. The judge ordered full restitution, double damages for bad faith, and referred the case for elder financial exploitation. Celeste later took a plea and served time. My father testified against her at the parole hearing. The relatives who'd wanted inheritance instead of the truth stopped calling. I kept none of the money. I started the Evelyn Shaw Fund. It pays for rides to treatment, home help, and companions who sit with people nobody else will sit with. Grandma's house became a residence for vulnerable seniors. On the day we handed over the keys, Daniel, our daughter Lily, and I sat on the porch. I'd replaced the burned out bulb over the door and left it glowing. Lily asked why. Because someone should always know they're expected, I told her. My mother once called me a charity case. She meant it as an insult. She was almost right. I was raised by the truest kind of love there is. I, a woman who showed up, stayed, and loved without keeping score. Evelyn sat in every chair my parents ever left empty. When her own chair finally sat empty, I stood up straight for the first time in my life.